This is a tune. Glass Animals, 1019 The Fox. Thank you, Fee.
That is a tune.
It is such a good song. As we approach 8 o'clock at 1019 The Fox, Alpha Bucks around the corner. You can also almost smell that cash. 16's your top today. It's cloudy at the moment, going to be sunny, a bit like yesterday, but a bit cooler. Good morning.
Good morning. The AFL draft, night one was on last night. And it's so exciting. It actually took me back. That's why I watched a little bit of it because this day, 30, nearly almost 30 years ago, 28 years ago or something, I was drafted. And back then, there was only 12 guys invited to the draft this year. And they all thought they'll go in the top sort of. It was only 20 picks or 24 picks last night, and the rest get done tonight. So they get all their friends and family in at Marvel, and they get up and get their stuff. But
Where was it when you? Yeah.
It was at Rod Laver. It was in there, and only 10 players got invited then. But they used to invite heaps of players, and then players would walk away not being drafted. So it was a bit grim. They used to invite 1,000 people. And then only 100 and something players would get drafted. So they only invited 10. They all thought they'd go in the top 10. I was a 17-year-old, so there was only 16, 17-year-olds in Australia that could get drafted because that's how it was, one to each club. And then now you can't get drafted as a 17-year-old. You've got to be 18. They changed that rule. But I was supposed to go to Geelong. Geelong were going to pick me up and put me, because I was in year 11, they enrolled me into a school for year 12. And they actually didn't draft me. So after 10 picks, the other 9 blokes were all drafted.
Why didn't they draft you if they'd already gone and put you in a school?
Because a couple of 17-year-olds had already been picked, so they thought they'd get me a bit later.
So save you for another year.
Yeah, because they were going to get me later in the draft because Brisbane, Freo, a few other teams had already picked 17-year-olds, so they knew that they couldn't pick me.
Okay.
Because they've already got their 17-year-old, so they were going to wait till later. And they're the only team that didn't draft a 17-year-old that year, which is amazing because they just were going to draft me and that was it.
Who did they take?
Peter Street, the big ruckman. He ended up going to the Bulldogs, played at the Bulldogs. He's actually a copper now. He's a sergeant, I think. Big Peter Street, the Taswegian. But anyway, I was sitting there and then pick 20 come along and pick 30 come along, and I'm thinking, geez, I'm not going to get drafted.
So you were late in the draft.
Yeah, so I would have gone to the draft next year so Jonathan Brown got overlooked, Matty Pavlich, all these players, they didn't get drafted.
So they walk away with nothing on the day?
They got nothing. So then they come back the next year as top, the normal age. So I would have gone number 1 the year after, whatever. But I didn't think I was going to get drafted because I didn't really speak to any players. And then this happened.
Selection 38, Carlton.
Player 4144, Brendan Favola, Dandenong Stingrays.
Another 17-year-old, and that's the leading marking forward is Brendan. It's Brendan on the screen now. Kicked 60-plus goals in the TAC Cup this year.
Whatever. That was Shifter Shee, and he was his 40th draft this year. He was on Fox last night doing it. And he said... he didn't say superstar full forward, which was weird. And then and my first initial thought was, yuck.
Really?
I hated Carlton.
Saints fan as a kid.
I was a Saints man, and my best mate, who was the best man at wedding, Chris Newman, he was a Carlton supporter. Bloody hated Carlton. But I was super excited to get into it. I got Carlton hat put on straight away, Carlton jumper, met David Parkin, one of the greatest coaches of all time. And I just loved footy. So I was like, I just can't wait to get to training. I just loved everything to do with footy, which was grouse.
Funny you say that, though. You couldn't wait to get to training and you just loved that, did you? Because I remember watching the documentary.
News.
No. There was a documentary about the draftees.
Yeah, it was called The Draft. It was me, Adam Manaskis and Des Headland, yeah.
It's on YouTube.
I remember a lot of the coaches and selectors, they had a different opinion of you.
I hate running. Like if he could play football and not run, if he could.
I mean, he can run, but I think sometimes he gets a bit tired more in the head rather than really being tired.
How good's 1998? He's a bit tired in the head.
That was Shane O'Sullivan. And he ended up drafting me.
You actually said, before you got drafted, I hate running.
No, I tell you what, I went to the draft.
Did you think they'd be watching the doco? Yeah. I mean, don't get the guy who hates running.
Well, this is a fair income true story. I don't think I've ever said this before. So we did the draft camp. So you go to a draft camp where you get tested. You do all your vertical jump, your sprint, your long distance, your 3K time trial. You do everything, and they literally put you under a telescope and go, you got to do all this because we need to test you to see where you range. We did it at Police Academy up in, is it Hawthorne Waverley?
Yep.
We stayed out there for like a week. And Des Headland I knew was going number 1. And he was like, I've got shin splints, I'm not running. Because he doesn't need to run. So I told everyone I had shin splints and I didn't want to run, so I didn't run. I didn't do any of the long distance. But then the game was on the last day, and I'm like, oh, man, my shins feel better now. Went out, kicked like 6, bang. Didn't do any running at the draft camp. I did the 20-metre sprint, won it because I knew I was good at that. Short distance. As soon as they went to the long distance, I'm like, oh, I don't think my shins can go. There was nothing wrong with me. Bluffed them.
Bluffed.